On the night of March 31st, 2006, 27-year-old medical student Brian Shaffer walked into a second-floor bar near Ohio State University with two friends. Security cameras caught him on the escalator heading up. Later, they caught him outside the entrance, talking briefly with two young women just before 2 a.m. He said goodbye, turned, and walked back toward the bar. Then he was gone. No camera inside or outside the building ever recorded him leaving. Not through the main entrance, not through any other exit that investigators could identify. His friends thought he had simply slipped out and gone home. By Monday, Brian had missed a flight to Miami he had planned with his girlfriend. He has not been seen or heard from since. This is the story of one of the most puzzling missing person cases in recent American history. A young man who seemingly vanished inside a bar with working security cameras. Brian Randall Shaffer was born in 1979 and grew up in Pickerington, Ohio. He was the older of two sons. He graduated from Ohio State with a degree in microbiology and in 2004 began studying at the Ohio State University College of Medicine. By early 2006, Brian was in his second year of medical school. Friends described him as smart, laid-back, and ambitious in a non-traditional way. He loved Jimmy Buffett-style music and had talked about starting a band one day. That March, Brian's mother, Renee, died after a battle with myelodysplasia. Those close to him said he appeared to be handling it, but the loss was heavy. Around the same time, Brian was in a serious relationship with another medical student named Alexis Wagoner. The couple had booked a trip to Miami for spring break. Many of their friends and family believed Brian was planning to propose during that trip. On the evening of March 31st, 2006, classes had just ended for spring break. Brian had dinner with his father, Randy. Later that night, he met up with his friend William Clint Florence at the Ugly Tuna Saloona, a bar on the second floor of the South Campus Gateway complex on High Street in Columbus. Brian and Clint started the night at the Ugly Tuna. They had a few drinks, then bar-hopped to other spots in the Arena District and Short North areas. According to Clint, they had shots at each location. Later, they met up with Meredith Reed, a friend of Clint's. She gave them a ride back to the Ugly Tuna Saloona for a final round. Inside the bar, Brian became separated from Clint and Meredith. When the bar closed at 2 a.m., the two friends looked for him. They waited outside as the crowd emptied out. Brian wasn't among them. They assumed he had gone home on his own, something friends later said he was known to do. The next day, calls went unanswered. By Monday, Brian had missed a flight to Miami with Alexis. His father and girlfriend grew concerned and reported him missing to Columbus police. Investigators immediately focused on the Ugly Tuna Saloona. The South Campus Gateway building had security cameras because the area had some crime issues. Footage clearly showed Brian, Clint, and Meredith going up the escalator to the bar's entrance around 1:15 a.m. The last confirmed images of Brian come from a camera near the entrance, just before 2 a.m. He is seen outside the bar, talking with two young women for a short time. He appears to say goodbye, then walks back toward the bar entrance and moves off camera. No footage from any camera inside the bar, at the main entrance, at the service door, or at nearby businesses shows Brian leaving the building. Police reviewed hours of tape. Brian's car remained parked near his apartment. Nothing inside the apartment suggested he had returned. Searchers combed the area around the bar, dumpsters, streets, and even parts of the sewer system. Flyers went up across the city. Brian's distinctive Pearl Jam tattoo, the stick figure logo from the Alive single, and a small fleck in one of his irises were noted in descriptions. His phone mostly went to voicemail in the following days. Then, months later in September 2006, when Alexis called, it rang a few times. Cell records later showed a ping from a tower in Hilliard, about 14 miles northwest of Columbus. After that, the phone went silent. Brian's father, Randy, threw himself into the search, especially after his son's disappearance. He walked riverbanks and followed leads. In 2008, Randy was killed when a tree branch fell on him during a windstorm. Over the years, police received tips, including possible sightings that were investigated and ruled out. One friend from that night refused a polygraph, others took and passed them. In 2021, an age-progressed image of what Brian might look like was released. As recently as 2026, on the 20-year anniversary, Columbus police stated the case remains active. They continue to receive and follow tips. No body has ever been found. No confirmed sightings have been verified. Brian Shaffer walked into a bar with working security cameras and, according to every piece of footage investigators reviewed, never walked out. 20 years later, his family and the Columbus Police Department are still asking the same question: what happened to him? The case highlights how even in an era of widespread cameras, a person can disappear without a clear trace. It also shows how missing persons investigations can stretch on for decades when there are no definitive answers. Columbus police have said they believe someone out there knows something. Tips can still be submitted through Crime Stoppers or directly to the department. If new information ever surfaces, it could finally bring some closure to a family that has waited far too long.